Canada. Put on a suit, drink water, don't drink and drive. Hey, man, call your mother.
It means nothing. It means nothing.
No, they lying to you. It's about the money.
Now you're more fluent.
Now you are more fluent. Now you are more fluent. Now you're more fluent.
Where your glasses at, Tone?
I'm not wearing my glasses.
Where your glasses at, Tone? I promise you.
I refuse.
So much better, Tone, when you put your glasses on.
I would rather.
It's all right, Tone.
I would rather bring something on screen that's incorrect or inappropriate than put on glasses. But if you do want to buy something and you're like, I need to buy something here.
Hey, you know what? I've got this water and we've got this red version. We got a red bottle and we got a David Beckham version here. Then we got a blue version.
Okay. All right. And I got a blue version. Okay. Big Ox in the building. You know why I'm wearing my Blue Jay shirt?
Why are the Toronto Blue Jays the paraphernalia today? What's going on?
11 straight home wins.
Mm-hmm.
This is actually, I don't know if this is good, bad, in their history, in their 50-year history, 11 straight home wins is their franchise record for consecutive home wins.
They didn't do that when they won the World Series in back-to-back years.
That's exactly what I said when I was told this. I said, hold on. When they won back-to-back World Series, they didn't win 11 straight. And they're like, no, not straight home games. And I went, I find that hard to believe because they've won a lot of games. So with last night's win over the dun 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 dun, the Yankees was their 11th straight home win, and they're in first place in the AL East. Things are good. Things are good in Toronto. I'm not gonna lie. From a baseball perspective,
weather's nice. It's not snowing. It's not cold.
It's hot. As a matter of fact, it's been like 102, 105. It's beautiful.
The kid won MVP of the baseball team. My nephew won the MVP.
Yeah,
absolutely. Now if I could just get my man Tone. Now if I could get my brher Tone to wear his glasses.
I'm not wearing my glasses.
Tone, put the glasses on. I'm telling you.
You know why? You know why I'm not wearing my glasses? You want me to tell you why I'm not wearing my glasses?
Why are you wearing the glasses, Tone?
Because as you know, last week, this is not a clickbait, by the way, S. I get it. Clickbait. It's not clickbait, and we'll tell you why if you stick around. But here's why I'm not wearing my glasses. Because when I wear my glasses and I go away, I see stuff like this. I hope it pulls up. If not, I'm gonna have to pull it up in a different format. So bear with me. You can argue with the chat if you want for a second. So let me tell you the story, I guess, maybe behind it first. So as you know, last week I was in Halifax with the family. We had a wonderful time. We went whale watching, saw some sharks, just had a great time. Saw some wonderful things. Not that you want to know this, but you'll know where I was when I saw this sign. And this is why I don't want to wear my glasses. Because I saw this sign and it caught my attention and I took a picture of it. And you're laughing because you can see it. These guys can't see it. And so when I saw the sign, I took a picture. I was like, why do you need to have this sign? Why do you need? Oh, yeah, that's what it is. It's at a urinal, right on top of the urinal. There is a sign that says, no, not that way.
The other way.
What the hell?
No, you can't do that there. No, we got other things for that. Right over this way. What the hell is going on?
Shut your damn mouth.
I don't even know. I didn't even.
Not like us. They not like us. They not like us. They not like us. They not like us. They
not, Tone. We not.
Why do you need that sign?
So this is throwing a monkey wrench and you not wearing glasses, Tone?
Yes, but I was like, I don't want to see this. It's blurry. I can't see it. I don't know what it is. I'm good. Take it off. Let me delete that off my computer. I can't believe I have that.
What I want to know is who came up with the idea, right? Who came up with the idea that this right here now needs to be spread out throughout Canada, to let everybody know that
No,
you
no,
can't
it's not Canada. This is very specific. I've never seen that before.
in
But
Halifax.
the problem is that exists because it was happening.
People are doing it. Yes.
And not just one time. Like if something happens one time, you're like, okay, it was one time. No.
No, people are doing that.
No. This was a reoccurring theme.
Mm-hmm.
And it was crazy. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 topics on the agenda. So we got a jam-packed show, and I really want to send the link out and let people join too, because we always say we're going to do it, and then we don't always have time to get to it. So we have so much to talk about. So is there anything specific you want to start with, or you just want, because I can't see, do you want me to just randomly pull up something?
Whatever it is, Tone, let's get, but there are some things that I definitely want to get to. Definitely I want to get to.
Well, let's start with this, because obviously this has been in the news, and it's and I know you want to have this conversation, and I think it's important to have the conversation nice and early. So at the WNBA All-Star Game last week, all the athletes wore "Pay Us What You Owe Us" shirts, and it started, a lot of discussion, some controversy, some support, kind of both sides of the conversation started. I have been very outspoken about a number of things, so I'm going to, for once in my life, bite my tongue and let you give us your thoughts.
Well, you're not going to bite your tongue, Tone, and the reason why is because this has everything to do with you. And the reason why it has everything to do with you is because me being around Tone for as long as I've been around him, Tone is a businessman, right? And I've learned a lot from Tone just from being a businessman. One of the things that I've learned from Tone as a businessman is if it doesn't make dollars, then it doesn't make sense. There's no reason to keep pouring money into something that is not producing. So with that being said, Tone, the WNBA has been around since, I want to say 1997. So the WNBA has been around since 1997. So we're talking about almost 30 years that the WNBA has been around. With that being said, there's no way that in almost 30 years, this business hasn't been profitable on any level. That doesn't make any sense to me. There's no way that you're going to continuously pour money into something and not see a dime from it. Now, what I'm thinking about when I think about the WNBA having a TV contract, in fact, I mean, they've had more TV contracts this season than they have in the past, and I'm not going to argue that point. And I think Caitlin Clark, I think Angel Reese, and I think these new women have a lot to do with that. With that being said, they had TV contracts in the past. They just weren't on TV as much. The WNBA is subsidized by the NBA. The NBA is a multi-billion-dollar business. What we're not going to do is we're not going to continuously pour money into something and we're not seeing anything from it, which means, Tone, somebody's getting paid. Before we do this, right? Before we pay you guys, like you said, pay us what you owe us. Somebody's getting paid. The NBA is not subsidizing this without seeing a dollar from it. They're not just going to continuously do that. That's not happening. On top of that, the WNBA, the labor agreement that they negotiated was 9%. With that agreement,
no. It was not 9%. So that's let me pause you there and say that's a bit of a misconception.
So that's a reach, okay?
Yeah, what their agreement is, and a lot of this, and people they want to talk about the percentage of total revenue, and that's what you hear a lot of: 9%, 10%, 11%, and that's a bit of a misconception, because when the agreement was made, there was a few things that also went into it. One, the number of games. There's a reason they only play 40 games. That was part of it. Time off. Obviously, on this league, there is the potential to get pregnant, and you don't have to deal with that in the NBA. And so there was some stuff given because of that scenario. Also, look, this is a horrible deal. Let's be clear, for the players. It's horrible. But what the deal was is they get 50% of the incremental revenue. Okay, the owners took advantage. Let's not be sugarcoat this. The owners took advantage, but they said 50% of the incremental revenue. Now, maybe They didn't know what that meant. But let me tell you what it means. What it means is if they're making to make math easy, if they're making $100 and they say next year our plan is to make 20% more, so we're going to make 120. That's our goal. They get a 50% bump in the following year, 50% of every dollar made over 120. So if they say we made 100 this year, we want to make 120 next year, and then they make 150, their lift is that 50% of that $30.
That's it.
That's it. And then once you take that number and look at the total revenue, it ends up being, it's been over the last few years between 9 and 11%, which is egregious. Horrible deal. Now, I'll let you continue. I just wanted to correct that one because it wasn't like set at 9%. So go ahead.
Right. Now, with that being said, because what you did was you clarified some things. So with that now being said, that if I'm making $100 and now next year the goal is at 120, just so you guys know, you don't see $1 until what I invested in it, I get that back. Let's make sure that we're clear on that right from the beginning. So the WNBA is a league that is subsidized, right? So the sponsors, not only the sponsors, the television deal, that's all through the NBA, right? All of that is through the NBA. None of that is through the WNBA. All of that is through the NBA. So with that being said, with it being through the NBA, whatever they put into the WNBA, until we see what we put, until we see what we got, until we see what we invested, you're not seeing $1, which goes back to my original point, Tone, that somebody's getting paid from this. There's no way that the NBA is investing this kind of money for this long in an entity and we're not seeing anything from it. That's not smart business. That's not how you build a multi-billion-dollar empire. You just don't do that. No.
And now cut me off if you want. Chat, tell me if it's too much. I'll give you the short version, but all of this stuff has more detail. But let me just give you a quick rundown. WNBA starts in 1997. The WNBA, on average, not including last year, not including 2024, on average loses $10 million a year. On average. Last year, they had a spike from 100 to 200 million in revenue. However, with the addition of Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, there was some push for chartered planes because they were flying commercial. So even though they made over $100 million more than they had made in previous years, their loss went from 10 million every single year to between 40 and 50 million.
See, Tone, that doesn't make sense to me at all. And you can't, there's somehow somebody's lying. And the reason why I say that, Tone, is because we can't go into the fiscal year when I sit down with the suits and we discuss the numbers and they tell me right from the beginning, Chill, we're going to lose 30 million this year. Why are we still doing this? Chill, we're going to lose 25 million this year.
Now,
Chill, we're going to lose 40 million this year. Why are we still doing this?
Most sports franchises, so now here's the other side. Most sports leagues, do lose money initially. So the NBA in the 50s, in the 60s, and for most of the 70s, lost money every year. Now, in the 70s, there was a couple years where they had broken even with the merger. They even made a few $1 million. Now, understand, the scale of things. But in the 50s, 60s, and 70s combined, in those 3 decades where the NBA did not consistently make money, combined, they did not lose the same amount of money as the WNBA loses in 1 year.
That doesn't make sense, Tom.
But there's scale to it. Because back then, losing $1 million is probably like losing 20 million today. So keep that in mind. Here's where I struggle with 2 things. On the side of the women, I would say, I didn't like pay us what you owe us. And I didn't like the term owe us because the league owes you nothing. They owe you nothing.
What do you mean by that, Tom?
The league owes you nothing. The league owes you nothing. They put the league owes you nothing because
who you work for is who owes you.
Yeah. No. Let me explain, I guess.
As you were saying.
The league started a place for you to play in your home, right? Most of the players in the WA, if not, I want to say 90-something%, are American athletes.
Sure.
So they created a league where you don't have to travel and live in Europe, in Russia. We saw what happened to a player in Russia. You don't have to go over there and play. So they don't owe you anything because, well, you've lost them money every year. And athletes, owners, yes, you need each other to run a league, but they don't owe you anything. The fans owe you nothing. Okay? Now, pay us what we deserve. I'm okay with, and here's why. It's that, and maybe it's semantics. So maybe it's semantics. However,
no, it's not. But I know where you're going with this.
Every other major league has a revenue share of approximately, some are 49, some are 51, but approximately 50% of total revenues. Let's pause there for a second, because I get this so many times it drives me nuts. 50% of zero is zero. They lose money every year. And I'm saying, no, dummy.
Damn.
Revenue is not profit. No one does a profit share, because then you're right, then the players would owe them money. Because I see a lot of people doing the math and they're like, well, if they lost 50 million divided by every player owes them $40,000. Like, no, it's revenue. NBA, MLB, NFL, they all get a revenue share. Okay. Mm-hmm. And so that's 50%. And that should be the goal that the WNBA should strive for, is to get to a deal where the players get 50% of the total revenue.
Okay.
However, and I know I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth, but you have to in this case. The NBA wasn't profitable for 30 years. The players were getting between 19 and 29% over those 2.5 decades, because the 70s changed a little bit, not between 14 and 24% of the revenue, not 50. When they turned a profit in the mid 70s, they were getting 31% of the revenue.
A third of it now. Now we're at a third now.
We're at a third. Mm-hmm. When the NBA in 1983 made $200 million, the players got 31% of that revenue, which is exactly where the WNBA is today. They had $200 million in revenue, and they were at 31%. So to take them from 9 to 11%, depending, to 50%, I don't think it's fair. Whether you're going to argue with it, but it's not. Let me not use the word fair. It's not smart business to have 30 years of losses and then in one fatal swoop give them a 500% raise. So that's why I say what they should do is an incremental lift, in the sense that, okay, 9 and 11 is ridiculous. We need to get that to 30. And so they have a new CBA. Their current one expires on October 31st. This one should be, let's say, for 5 years, and it should be year 1 is 30. Year 2 is 35. They can plan it all out. Year 3 is 40, or it could be 42, 47. Like, you'll know they'll make up a weird number, 37.6. But just for easy, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Okay? And you can either spread that out over 5 years or 7 years. And here's why. Mm-hmm. Unless they are run by complete morons, which is also possible.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Unless they're run by complete morons, starting next season, they have a $2.2 million over 11-year TV deal. That's more money than they've ever seen. And that alone, if you take that number, and 2.2 billion divided by 11 is 200 million, right? They've just doubled their revenue like that. And then you take it from this year was I think 11%, because they made 200 million and they paid out 22 million. So it was about 11%. But you take that and triple it and tell them, and then it's going to go 5, 35, 40, 45, 50. So you get to that, whether it's 5 years, 7 years, you want to spread out how you chop it up. I think that's a deal that the players can get behind, because it's like, okay, we see the long-term growth and we're here for it. And the owners can say, okay, I can understand as our revenue grows because of this TV deal and other things, adding teams. I would suggest they're going to probably want to go to 60 games this season too, adding concessions.
The season,
100%.
Sure.
If we agree to these things, I think it makes sense for everyone, because now the owners aren't, because an owner to go from 11 to 50, they're going to blow their brains out. They're not going to do it. Even if it's fair, they're not going to do it. But if you say, and now it gets everybody to where they deserve to be. Because I don't like the word "owe," because "owe" means backwards. You earned nothing backwards up until last
That's
season.
where I was going. That's exactly where I was going, Tone. Take out the word "oh." I've never been a fan of the word "oh" or the word "deserve." I've always been a fan of the word "earn." Pay me what I earn. That's number one. Number two, I think that people don't understand exactly what revenue means. When you bring up the word, I don't think that they understand what the word revenue means. So revenue is when in the WNBA, it's how many eyes are on TV with the sponsors. It's how many jerseys you guys are selling. It's how many seats that we have that are sold out. It's how many times merchandise is being bought. It's how many parking passes we've sold, ticket sales. All of this stuff ties into revenue. Well, the reason why revenue streams and the reason why it works the way it does is because of you guys as players. Well, if you guys are producing to have people come out and see you, then revenue will go up. But if you're not, then revenue is not going to go up. Revenue is going to be what it is right now. Now, here's the problem that I'm having with the here's the problem that I'm having. So, like you just talked about, in terms of percentages, if you have a job, any job, more times than not, if you're getting a raise in an everyday job, you get a 3 to 5% raise on average. Right? There aren't many
cost of living.
You get a cost of living now on average. More times than not, I'm not going to go from a 3% raise in 2024 to 2027. I got a 20% raise. No, that's not going to happen. That's not the way that works. Now, I could go from 3% and then next year it's 5%, and then next year it's another 6 or 7% because of the cost of living. But it's not gonna almost go 7 times in 3 years. That's not gonna happen. That's terrible business. So, with that being said, the product that's been on the floor, right? The product that's been on the floor with the addition of Caitlin Clark, with the addition of Angel Reese, I think that's box office, and I do think that it's going to help. I think the problem that we're having, Tone, is I'd like to look at the books to see where the money is distributed, why we're losing money every year, because I go back to what we just got finished talking about. Tone, when we sit down in this meeting and I tell you as the commissioner of the league, if I tell you as, I don't know, the owner of the Valkyrie, if I tell you as the owner of the Minnesota Lynx, Tone, we're going to lose $5 million this year. In addition to the $10 million that we lost last year. Your questions are going to be, okay, where is this money going that we're losing money? All right, is it the marketing that we need to cut? Is it the security? What's going on, and why are we losing money? Because we can't just say, yo, we're losing money. Well, wait a minute. Why are we losing money? Why aren't people watching? I was online yesterday, and I was taking a look at ticket sale prices, Tone. The Phoenix Mercury come to Indiana on the 27th of July. Tone, to sit in the third row, 2 tickets cost me $500 if I want to go to the game.
For a WNBA game?
To sit in row 3 cost me $500.
That's crazy.
And by the way, in Indiana, it's not a seat in the house, Tone. They sold out.
This is supposed to be affordable.
Yes, they're sold out. There's not a seat in the house. So with that being said, it sounds to me, and that's just one team, right? Indiana is one team, and they're also a traveling circus, because when Caitlin Clark goes to Seattle, when Caitlin Clark goes to Connecticut. I mean, they just played in the TD Garden where the Celtics played. It wasn't a seat in the house. Place was sold out. Somebody getting paid off of this, Tone. Somebody is making money.
Like if you 200 million sounds like a lot. I know it sounds like a lot, but if you take 200 million and say, okay, they paid, and I'm using round numbers to make it easy, and then we'll get to your super Teddy. Give me one sec. 200 million minus 20 in salaries is 180, and you're like, okay, well, that should be enough. Well, no, because if you take every team, charter planes cost tens of thousands of dollars. So that's probably another,
just one flight, Tone. Just one flight.
Yeah, just one. So I'm doing the math in my head, and I'm like, if they had $180 million operating expenses, like for those concessions, for example, like you say, well, they sold popcorn. Yeah, there's a cost to that. They got to pay the people who work in the stadiums. They got to pay the security guards, like you said, the cleanup crew. There's a rent for the stadium because the WNBA teams don't own any of the stadiums, so they got to there's rent. Then they got to pay. There's like the travel expenses, insurance. Hey, the executives probably. I don't know how much the commissioner's taking.
You're leaving out a very important person that we got to pay. We got to pay Uncle Sam too. Don't leave him out.
Oh yes, don't forget the taxes. Yes.
Don't forget him. We got to pay that dude too. So before we pay any of y'all, We got to talk to Uncle Sam first.
Well,
right? He's the one who gets his dough first.
That's how 200 million becomes minus 40 million. Like that. But that's why I say that's why this new TV deal is so important. It's because the WNBA, as crazy as this is going to sound, today is a great investment. Today, I would invest in the WNBA today because I can, again, assuming there isn't an idiot in charge, there is no way that this league will, with all of the excitement they have right now, there's no way once this TV deal hits, which by the way, if I was negotiating this TV deal, I would have gotten $4 billion, but whatever. They undervalued themselves. But that being said, this TV deal alone will change them from a loser to a winner, right? Because if you think they already did the private jets and they lost 40. So let me first give you this example. This is why I say pay us what you owe us. So backwards. If they paid 50% of the revenue, okay, so instead of 200 million, instead of paying out 22 million, they paid 100. That's an $80 million difference. So they lost 50, add 80, they would have lost 130 million. They're out of business.
How are we still operating like that?
That's why I don't like owe us. Deserve now, watch this. If they already have the private jets and all of that stuff and they lost 50, and you go to, again, not 50%, but 30%. 30% of what they're going to make is, let's see, 4. So that's 10, 20, 30. Hold on. Let me do the math here real quick. 400 million.
Wait. 400. So 30% of 400 million is 120.
Is 120. So everybody gets a huge raise, okay? Because the salary goes from 22 million to 120 million. You literally can give everybody a raise of 600%. Okay. Now there's more teams, there's more stuff, whatever. But that being said, my point is, so they go to 120. So 120, that brings the loss to 170. Okay? But they get an extra 200 million. You're now dealing in the black. You're now making 30-40 million.
So now we're making money now.
Now you add the additional teams, additional games, which equals additional revenue, right? Now you're a business that's making 50, 60, 70. You can make $100 million because if it jumped from 100 to 200 or the TV deal, it should go to 250, 300 next year. Plus the 200 in TV is 500. So if you're paying out 200 million and making 500 million in revenue, you're now, $200-300 million.
Which I wanted to ask you that, Tone. I'm glad you brought that up because the first thing I'm thinking when you talked about what the TV deal could be in years to come, the first thing I'm thinking to myself is, are their eyes, before you told me that, were their eyes too big for their stomach? Because, you added the Valkyrie, you added Detroit. I think they added a team in Philly too, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. So,
and Toronto Tempo.
Toronto. So you added 4 teams to the league. So we're adding 4 teams to the league. It's like an airline, Tone.
And Detroit's getting their team back too.
Right. So like I said, Detroit, Toronto, you added the Valkyrie. So with adding these teams, it's like an airline where, Tone, we're adding destinations and we're adding cities. Well, if we add that, that's more cost, right? Because now we have to pay airport fees, right? We got to pay taxes. We have to hire laborers. We got to hire airport staff for that. Well, if Detroit's getting a team, well, now we got to rent the arena out because we're not building a WNBA arena. Right. So now they're going to play with the Detroit Pistons play. That's an added cost for us, right?
That's where the NBA subsidy comes in and allows them to either pay really reduced rates or gives them the facility cheaper for free.
Almost for free.
And when people want to complain about that, and I promise, and then I'm going to do the super chat. When people complain about that, please keep in mind, for all these NBA teams that built stadiums, they were subsidized by the government and their cities. So don't confuse the fact that it wasn't a league supporting the NBA. There was subsidies to help the NBA build the stadiums and become profitable. There was help in other ways, just not the way that this is where the NBA is covering their losses.
Tone, did Ballmer get subsidies for building that arena in Los Angeles with the Clippers, or was that out of his own pocket?
I guarantee you there was. That's why teams leave, right? Is if you're not going to give me X amount of dollars to build the stadium or tax breaks to build the stadium, I'm going to go to another city that will. That's why Oakland lost all their teams, because Oakland doesn't have, no offense, doesn't have enough money as a city, right? They're having some hard time to help to pay for those stadiums. And so Oakland's like, we got the Athletics are gone. The Warriors moved, the Raiders, everybody just left, right? All right, Teddy, I apologize. It took a long time. The loss is probably strategic, both from a PR perspective, equality, and from a decreasing taxable income perspective, taking a loss. 10 to 15 million losses is equivalent to one NBA player per year. Yeah, but it's in this day and age, to cook the books, someone's going to get in trouble, right? Like there were teams in the 50s and 60s that made money and said they made a loss so that they could write it off for their other businesses, right?
And that's prison for that, by the way, just so you know.
I'll tell you, that's why for that. I love the fact, like that's, like a Genie Bus couldn't do that.
No.
But now the new owners can. They could totally cook the books. Totally cook the books. Someone
Tone, you a fan of cooking the books, Tone? Are you a fan of book cooking, Tone? Yes or no?
I believe that if you know the rules, you take full advantage of those loopholes, and
those two things are not the same thing.
Not the same thing. Yes. I don't do anything illegal or fraudulent, but listen, Bill Belichick, for all the times he cheated, there were also times when he knew the rule book better than anybody else. And him knowing the rule book and taking advantage of that, good for him.
Red Auerbach is the king of loopholes.
Yeah, 100%. Red Auerbach getting Larry Bird 6th overall when he was still going back to college. Brilliant. He did nothing. That's why I say, the whole super team, blah, blah, blah. That's why I say, I don't care. Because if you didn't do anything illegal, if you and got people there, I'm cool with it. And so that's all I would say, is that, I think they should get a fair percentage of the revenue that they bring in. Because as much as I say the owners, the fans don't owe the players anything, the players don't owe anything either. Their job is to bring in the fans. Your job is to give them a venue to show off their talents. Their job is to show off their talents. And that's what sports is that entertainment, and you got to pay for that.
And by the way, we are the ones who, as the owner, I'm the one, I take the biggest risk. I'm the one who keeps the lights on in here. I'm the one who provides the venue. I'm the one who's providing all of this stuff in here. All you got to do is show up and perform. That's it. You don't have to do anything else. And I know we got to move on, Tone, but when you tell me that you're threatening to walk out, is the WNBA, like, let's just say for the sake of argument, Tone, that the WNBA ceased to exist today. Like, how much of a hit would that be for the NBA?
Okay, first of all, I'll go back to that picture in a second. If the WNBA ceased to exist today, the NBA wouldn't take any hit at all.
I don't think so. I really don't. I don't think.
And I've seen many of these, and I don't know which ones are real, which ones are fake. But I've seen a lot of Angel Reese stuff that said, at this point, we should be making NBA money. No, you shouldn't. No, because you don't bring in NBA revenue. I saw another one of hers. Again, I don't know which ones are real or fake. That's why I'm not going to pull them all up. But I saw another one of hers that said, if we don't get what we're owed, we're not going to play. Like we're going to strike. And here's the thing. That is easy for Angel Reese to say, because 90% of the money she makes doesn't come from her WNBA salary.
She told us that she couldn't even afford to
afford her rent. Right. She couldn't even afford her rent. However, what about the Cardozas of the world, the Enriques of the world, these other?
Tone, I need my job. I need my job.
Asia Wilson is phenomenal. She doesn't have anywhere near the amount of endorsements.
I need my job, Tone. Right? I do.
She needs it, and so and these are the players we know. What about the fifth starter, the eighth person off the bench,
Kate Martin, players like that.
These are their
Marina Mabry,
their livelihood, and I don't want them having to look. I'm saying it right now. I don't want them to have to go play anywhere in Europe.
Like, why I gotta get on a plane and go to China? Why I gotta go to China when I can play right here?
Now that being said, this negotiation is going to be a tough one, because if they're going to go for the 50% right off the bat, I don't think they're getting it.
Well, here's the thing, Tone. Okay, maybe I don't want. You're a businessman, Tone. You know this better than I do. I really only want 25. I'm gonna go in and ask for 50. and I'm gonna end up getting 30. Is that fair?
Okay. Let me. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of Asia stuff. If Asia has this, okay, I used her as an example because I don't think she makes as much money as Angel Reese. Maybe it's not Asia, but again, it's that fifth starter. Asia's the MVP of the league. That
Kate
fifth starter,
Martin,
that seventh, eighth, ninth person
Marina
up,
Mabry,
third person off.
girls like that.
Yeah, those are the ones. What? Sorry, I missed. And you asked a question there at the end, and I was distracted by the Asia stuff.
Well, what I'm asking, Tone, is if I have, well, like we're talking about revenue sharing, and I just that quickly I forgot what I was about to say too.
Okay. So, yeah, no, I know what you said. Going for 50, but you really want 25.
Right, that's what I'm talking about. I'm sorry, 50.
There's going to be some accommodations. Like I said, I think 100% they got to play 60 games. They have to play more games because they're bringing in more teams. They have to play more games, which will add more rounds into the playoffs, which is where there's really going to be some revenue.
That's where the dough at, sure.
Yeah, and so those are the things where it's going to be like, okay, we'll give you want 25? I'll give you 30, but I want 60 games. No, we're only going to play 45 games. Well, then you're only getting 25, right? There's going to be that give and take, and I think I think those are going to be the levers that as high as your games will go, that's how much your percentage will go up. But like I said, I think you want to make a long-term deal because instability with the CBAs is what ruins leagues. Like I think baseball strikes, all of those strikes back when they were, I think that's the reason why baseball isn't America's pastime anymore. I think that's why it's, among other things, with the games taking too long or whatever. But I think that was part of the reason that they lost a lot of fans, was all the strikes.
That's fair. I could get with that because the everyday man can't understand why you're making all of this money. What are you striking for?
Right. Like, now these ones we can understand. And here's the last thing, and then we're going to move on. Here's my last thing. And this was the one that I fight with people the most, because people say, why would, I don't even know if you want me to read this quote because it's so inappropriate but I'll still say it. I'll still read it. Why would, I'm going to read the quote first and then I'm going to add context to it after. Let me find it here because it's, why would, I know it starts with why would.
Who said it? Let's start there.
Some Twitter troll. However, it is important because it'll make you understand my point a little bit more.
Because I just feel like when we're talking about revenue and we're talking about money, I think that there's a distortion. These people think that, especially laborers have a tendency, which is the players, they have a tendency to think that I deserve more than what I'm getting, or I should be paid more than what I'm getting.
I have tons of comments like this, both public and in private DMs, but I'm going to read two of them and you'll see, because I didn't answer the question, so I got it asked again. Do you agree that the average woman will never watch mostly tall lesbians playing a sport men do much better? Bingo. This is a different person. Bingo. Not many women are interested in following most sports. Lack of interest in the WNBA is a woman problem. And if you want more TV exposure, women are capable of doing that too. So why don't they? So that's the one thing that we don't talk about, that some of us don't want to talk about, but where it's, 55%, 60% of the WNBA viewership is men. Men supporting the WNBA. We get pooped on all the time. Why don't you support us? Well, why don't you support yourselves? Like,
right.
There was a TV personality here in Toronto who did this whole soliloquy about how it's horrible that, people aren't going out and watching the WNBA. And I was like, how many games have you watched? Because there was no team in Toronto. How many teams have you? I've never seen you wear a WNBA hoodie. I love those orange hoodies, by the way. I know they're a couple of years old, but I still love them. I've never seen you go to a game. I've never seen you talk about it ever until you saw Caitlin Clark and it said, Wemby makes X amount of dollars and she makes $76,000 in her first year. Oh, this is egregious. Why are they getting ripped off? Knows nothing about the financials, never spent one penny on the WNBA. Well, why don't you watch them instead of the effing Kardashians?
Please.
Okay. When I see a time when women are 60% of the viewership in the WNBA, and guess what? When that happens, because they're 50% of the population, people. When that happens, boom. Bill Burr said that. Oh, hold on. Sorry, Teddy. I will pull it up. Bill Burr had a bit about this exact same thing. Well, Bill Burr sometimes can be very smart.
So it was some of the funniest shit I've ever heard. So it was fantastic. He was talking about how when you have you ever gone to any of these WNBA venues? The venue owner, he's losing his ass. If you look at what's going on in it, he's half the house is not even full. He's losing his ass on this. You women talk about the WNBA and why I'm not supporting it. You don't even go to the games.
So when it's 60% women, I guarantee you their revenue will be in the billions of dollars. Because if the WNBA was smart, because here's the other thing now, I think the WNBA as a business is run, it's got to be run by idiots. And two, their marketing department is run by someone who couldn't sell ice in the Sahara Desert. Because the clothing lines, the apparel, like they're not built for women. And I'm like, duh, like that would be a whole subcategory of clothing line that the NBA could never do, or the NBA does. Remember the NBA had the jersey dresses. I'm not suggesting bringing back the jersey dress, but when we were young and all the girls in high school were wearing them, guess what? Now do it for the Valkyrie, do it for the Fever, do it for the Sky, right? Like it's nuts to me. And here's the funny part. The guys, we support the hell out of it. I see more guys wearing those orange WNBA hoodies. I see, I coach youth basketball. You know how many kids I see wearing Sabrina 2s? You know how many kids I see wearing and pink and blue and white and silver? And I'll tell you right now, Fluent Jr. has 2 pairs of, he loves them. He goes, they're super comfortable. They blah, 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 blah. I'm like, and I go, you don't care that they're Sabrinas? He goes, who cares? Like, we don't care. Women care. Women care. The women care.
I got a 15-year-old niece that plays basketball. She loves Stewie. Stewie is her girl. Stewie and Sabrina Ionescu. She loves both of them. So I do think that, I know we got to move on, Tone, but I do think that if women supported this more, it would help. Because it's not a coincidence that, I don't know if you know this, Tone, but it's not a coincidence that 60%, since you brought that up, Tone, 60% of viewership in the NFL are women. I don't know if you guys know that, but yeah. 60% of people who watch pro football are women. It may be because of the tight pants. It may be because of all of that stuff, but they watch it. You'd be surprised how many women watch pro football. You'd be really surprised.
Why do you think they have those every jersey has a pink alternate jersey?
Right.
One, they look good, and two, because Mello says, thank you for the super chat. Started watching women's Olympic basketball. Gabby Williams got me interested in watching. Legit two-way player. There you go. And that's the other part. You're getting better and better players. Mm-hmm. You know what's crazy? We had Shaq on. When was Shaq on last? A year ago? Something like that. And he said lower the rims.
Not this season.
Yeah, he said lower the rims, and everybody laughed at him. Just hear me out. Imagine every time Angel Reese missed a layup, instead it was 9 foot and she
got it back.
No, she wouldn't.
She ain't even rebounding.
No, she just
dunking the ball.
Yeah. Just imagine the difference that would make to the game. And before you go bite my head off and say, why do they have to lower the rim for the girls? Why is the ball smaller? Why is the net lower in volleyball? Why is, like every other sport, there's differences because we are different, but this one, it's a problem? Oh, some of it's a problem because the courts, the 3-point line is also shorter. The ball is smaller. Why not have the rim lower? Why not? Why not? Why not? In fact, we've said for a long time, youth basketball, kids shooting at a 10-foot net is wrong anyways. Talk to any basketball trainer and they'll tell you kids shooting on a 10-foot net when they're 2 feet tall is not good for any part of their body.
No, it's not.
It's not. And that's why they have bad form. Reach that. But that's why it's bad form and they're doing this. It's because that's the only way they can get enough power. So guess what? If you had it at 9, so all through grade school, it was 9. Okay, high school, it goes up to 10. But they're adjustable by high school. You can go 9, 10, pretty easy. Push of a button now. Like it's fine. You never know. You never know. I'm just saying. Yeah. Just saying that's the reason they don't want to lower it is because they're worried about the gyms. I'm just saying. Just saying. He might have been right. All right.
Oh, I'm really interested in this because this dude up here, right? The spoiled rotten, right? This my spoiled rotten co-host up here, right? The one that already got a Rolls Royce, he got a Mercedes Benz, he got a 15,000 square foot house. The house need to be clean, by the way, but he still got a house. Okay, this is what the cleaning lady came in and did. So let's discuss this Laker updated roster, right? Let's discuss this. Okay, so number one, Tone, we solved the problem of the 5 spot, which was a problem. Yes, it
We
was.
did?
Yes, you solved the problem. DeAndre Ayton, one of the best rebounders in the game, one of the best pick and pop guys in the game, and he's in a contract year.
Did you just say the best in the game?
One of the best rebounders in the game, 100% he is. One of the best pick and pop bigs in the game. Yes, DeAndre Ayton's got a great mid-range game. He's one of the better pick and dive bigs in the game. One of the best lob threats in the game too. Problem is there's the motor, the motivation is there. Well, that's going to get solved because we're in a contract year. And you, Mr. Laker, spoiled rotten brat. Okay, number 2, James is not going to have to play the 5 anymore because you and me have already had this conversation, Tone. I got Luka at the 1, Austin Reeves at the 2. I got DFS at the 3. I got Rui at the 4, and I had James at the 5. We're not winning with that 5. We're not. That's just not going to happen. And I got Jackson Hayes playing behind James. We're not going to win with that 5. It's not happening. So we got to shore up the 5 spot. You shored up the 5 spot with a motivated DeAndre Ayton.
I didn't make this list. Don't say sports. That's not this. I didn't make this list.
So you showed up the 5 spot. So now, Tone, right? So now what you do is you add some depth in the backcourt with Marcus Smart because you have no point of attack defenders. In fact, this is your only point of attack defender in Marcus Smart, who does make you guys better as a defender. Now you're gonna want to strangle him, Tone, when it's 18 seconds on the shot clock and Luka's wide open or Austin Reeves is wide open and Marcus Smart's gonna crack a 3 with a guy in his face. You're going to want to strangle him for a shot selection, but you're also going to love him because he's going to come up with big plays defensively. He's going to come up with big plays as a rebounder in the passing lane. He's going to come up with big plays to shift the game for you guys. And I think that he's going to win some games for you. But I'll tell you what, I'm interested to hear from you on what you think of this configurated roster from what it was last season.
Well, everybody in the chat is telling me Smart is going to start and Rui's coming off the bench. So everyone slides down to stop it. Okay.
No, he is not.
Here's what I think. I got Luka Doncic and LeBron James, so I have an opportunity. The problem is, I'm not saying they can't do anything. Okay, let's be very clear. I'm not saying anybody can't do something. I'm just saying Luka is at his best. Okay, so hear me out. Luka is at his best. Luka is at his best when he has the ball in his hand.
He's in great shape too, Tone, by the way.
Can we agree on that?
Yes.
Okay.
100%.
Austin Reeves is at his best when the ball is in his hands. LeBron James is at his best when the ball is in his hands. So that makes me nervous. However, Rui at the power forward and DeAndre Ayton, you are assuming that he is not going to be who he's shown it. You tell me all the time. Maya Angelou always says, if someone shows you who they are, believe them. Has he not shown us who he is over and over and over again? Why don't you believe him?
I do believe him. I think the difference is that. Yes, I do. I 100%
you're saying he's going to be motivated. I have never seen him motivated. He's going to all of a sudden have a motor. I don't see him having a motor. When did he show you a motor last year?
No, he didn't because Portland wasn't very good.
Oh,
they were
so
getting
if the
better.
team's not good, he loses his motor.
There's plenty of guys who do that though, Tone. Plenty of guys who don't play hard.
Games. If they're having a bad game, they're going on a bad run, we're just going to lose Ayton. We're just throw him to the bench because he's not going to have a motor.
Well, if you think about this,
that's the guy you want as your savior at center.
No, it's not. But the difference is that when I saw him in Phoenix, Tone, the games, they didn't win a lot of games when he had the ball in his hands, but I did see him motivated. I did see when they went to him more, he rebounded more. I did see when they went to him more, he blocked more shots. He ran the floor more. I did see that from him when Chris Paul got him more involved in the game. All right, so fast forward to 2025 when we're in a contract year, and I'm also playing with one of the best distributors. In fact, two of the best distributors in the game, two of the best playmakers in the game. And all I got to do is pick and pop. All I got to do is pick and dive, catch lobs, rebound the basketball, run the floor. Because again, I don't think that your boys are going to be very good defensively, Tone. But what I do think is as a rebounding team, Luka is one of the best rebounding guards in the game. And I don't think we give him nearly as much credit for that. With DeAndre Ayton being one of the better rebounders in the game. With that being said, I think that you're going to be able to stop a lot of plays because of your ability to rebound. So I think that's going to help. And I think that that's going to motivate DeAndre Ayton to continue to play more. On top of that, Tone, I can't leave this out. We're in a contract year. So because we're in a contract year, I think that
contract year.
I think he's got a player op after this year, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's
next
a 2-year
year's
deal.
Contract year.
So this season right here.
Unless someone tells them, I guess they could tell them, hey, earn your keep and we'll give you an extension at the end of this year. I guess. Okay, so sure. Okay.
Yes. So and I think that Tony, he's got rabbit ears too. All of these guys got rabbit ears. You think he doesn't hear that he's soft? He's not. His motor isn't.
Yeah, but how many players? Like every year, I hear people say, "Well, Ben Simmons has rabbit ears," and he's been hearing everybody saying what they've been saying. Yeah, have you seen a different Ben Simmons?
No.
Pick your player, like all of them. So you brought up something and you just blew right past it. Where's the defense on this lineup?
It's going to be with Marcus Smart coming off.
No.
With this lineup, it's going to be with rebounding. That's where the defense is going to be. We're not going to be able to stay in front of guys a lot, but teams aren't going to make every shot. So it's going to be about rebounding more than anything. With Luka getting on the glass, with DeAndre Ayton getting on the glass, with James getting on the glass. Anthony Davis is gone. No doubt about that. Anthony Davis is gone. So your paint presence is going to be DeAndre Ayton. And I know that doesn't sound like much. No. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to gain rebound. And that's how we're going to have to get stops, though. That's the only way we're going to get stops.
So okay. So we agree this starting lineup, as you've laid out or as you've provided, this starting lineup has holes defensively and all over the perimeter, which, by the way, we play in a perimeter-centric league, correct?
Yes, we do.
We agree. Okay, we agree on that. So they're going to have problems stopping people. What's the offense look like here?
The offense, I think it looks really. Here's why I think the offense looks good, Tone. Because I think that with Luka being in better shape, being one of the better transition guards in the game, I think he's the best scorer in the game. I'm not on the fence about that. But also, Tone, if I'm not mistaken, you can fact check me on this. I think last year, Luka, he played off the ball the second most in his career last season before he got traded. And the year before that, when they went to the NBA Finals, I think he played off the ball the most in his career. I think he had the ball in his hands the least amount of time that year. So with him playing off the ball, James also playing off the ball, I do think that the offense is going to change a bit. I think that there's going to be more ball movement. Thanks, Filipowski. Good night, brother. Good to see you. I think that there's going to be more ball movement. In addition to there being more ball movement, I do think that with Luka being in better shape and they play faster, Rui is one of the better transition wings in the game. And I think that he's going to run more. I love how him and James operate in transition. I think that they're going to be great. And that's going to start with DeAndre Ayton and Luka getting on the glass and running. I think DeAndre Ayton
you think this is going to be an up-tempo offense?
Very much like what happened with Anthony Davis, Tone. If you remember, Anthony Davis got 4 to 6 points just running to the rim, where James would just throw the ball, like the ball would come off the glass, James would get a rebound, and Anthony Davis would just run. He's got a smaller guy on him. He just run to the rim, and James would just throw the ball to him, and he's going to get 4 to 6 points just doing that. That contributes to their offense. Now, when we get into the half court, where I think things are a little bit trickier, when the game slows down a little bit more. Yes, when the game slows down a little bit more.
Matters.
Yes, when the game slows down a little bit more, the thing that I'm concerned with is where are we going to consistently get buckets? Because don't get me wrong, I think Luka's going to go off. We've already seen that you can take Austin Reeves out of a series. James, I feel like, is past who James used to be. So now what we have left is we have DeAndre Ayton on the box. And make no mistake about this, Tone. I don't think I'd be blown away if the Lakers won the NBA championship with this roster. I would be blown away.
You'd be blown away if they do or if they don't?
If they won it, if the Lakers won the NBA championship, I would be blown away if they won because I
Then
don't think this is a
so then
championship.
what are we talking about? You have Luka,
Yep,
LeBron,
yep.
and everybody else, and you're not even competing for a chip?
No, I think that they can compete. I'd be surprised if they won it. I do.
Don't be surprised. You said you'd be blown away if
I
they
would be
won.
okay. Let me rephrase that. Hold me to that tone. I would be considering what would happen when we get to the playoffs and we got teams like the Oklahoma City Thunder, we got teams like Denver, we got teams like Houston who are fantastic. Houston in particular, who are fantastic on defense. The offense might be a little bit tricky, but then you add Kevin Durant, and that gives them a different dynamic. This Laker team that doesn't really defend at a high level, I think that it's going to get real tricky come playoff time. And to see them, they're going to have to play a level of defense that I'm not sure that they can play. That's why I would be blown away if they won the NBA championship.
Now let's pick on their bench a little. So Marcus Smart played what? 7 games last year?
68 games over the last 2 years, though.
68 games over the last 2 years. Is he the same Marcus Smart that won Depoy? Because he's being touted as the perimeter defender that's going to come in, and some people are saying they've already heard from. Well, I love when they say LA media, like the LA media knows what the hell JJ Redick is going to do in July, what he's going to do in October. Yeah, but the LA media said. The LA media also said they were trading LeBron James. We'll get to that in a minute. So Marcus Smart is going to come in and be the savior of their perimeter defense. Is he? Is he all of a sudden going to play 70 games?
I think he's going to play more than. I think he's going to play more than 40. I'm pretty confident in that.
You would hope. So let's say he doesn't. Where's the perimeter defense?
Now remember too, Tone. This is the first season that Jared Vanderbilt is healthy. He has not been healthy in the last 2 years, and it's the first season that he's been healthy, which means that you're actually getting a defender full time now. Like the last 2 years, you didn't have that.
Presumably, I'm getting Marcus Smart and Vanderbilt, who haven't been healthy, either one of them, in the past 2 years. So I'm betting on 2 guys who haven't been healthy in 2 years to be healthy. So let's assume things stay consistent, and they're not. Where's my defense on the perimeter? It doesn't exist.
You don't have it.
Where's my defense down low other than you say Ayton?
DeAndre Ayton. Well, we don't have it. Well, we don't, but that's a glass half empty.
Okay, hold on. Let me do glass half empty and then half full. So half empty. How am I going to compete with Denver, Houston, OKC, Minnesota? That's there's your 4 top seeds. To get out of the first round, you got to beat one of those 4. I'm not even going to talk about the other people. To get out of the first round, you got to beat those 4. How am I getting out of the first round?
Dallas too. Don't leave Dallas out.
I just now you're making it even worse. I'm going to stick to those 4.
Mm-hmm.
How am I going to beat them if I don't have? Okay, so let's presume that they're healthy.
Yep.
I'm great. They're healthy. So now I'm going to bring in.
No, stay right there. Tone, rewind. You're asking how we're going to beat. You're asking how we're going to beat Joker. You're asking how we're going to beat Oklahoma City. You're asking how we're going to beat Houston. Okay, so we're going to beat Houston by outscoring them, right? And I know that sounds simple.
Have you seen what they did this offseason?
Yeah, I have seen that. They were able to keep their guys. Yeah, they were able to keep their guys in terms of Tari, Jabari, Amin Thompson, and Sengun. Okay, and then they added Kevin Durant. I already know how you feel about Kevin Durant. Okay. With that being said,
I love him as a scorer.
Yes, 100%. But with that being said, we do have, like I said, with Luka, with James, with Rui, with DeAndre Ayton, we do have a formidable offense. So with formidable offense we have, and with DeAndre Ayton getting on the glass and us rebounding better, I know that they got Steven Adams, and he's going to be a problem. I do know that. With Steven Adams, he's going to be a problem. However, us as a gang rebounding team, we could also be a problem. And I think that Luka offensively, overall, I think he can make up for all of the things that are the problem. I think he can make up for all of the things that are a problem with the Lakers, as opposed to, I don't think Sengun can do that. I don't. Now, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make a case for the Lakers right now.
Yeah. That's number 1. I want to hear it. I want you to convince me.
Now, as far as Denver, I don't think that there's a shot. I think Denver smokes the Lakers. because I'm looking at their roster and everything that they did. I think that they smoked the Lakers. I think that everything that needed to be fixed, they fixed it in Denver. So I'm going to completely take Denver out of this. Oklahoma City Thunder, I think there's a chance to be competitive because I like some matchups that you have with Luka. I like some matchups that you have with DeAndre Ayton being physical in the paint when he wants to. I'm not saying it all the time, but when he wants to. And when we get into the playoffs, I think that he can be a bit of a menace when he wants to. Marcus Smart and Jared Vanderbilt, I think that these guys can cause some trouble for guys like Lou Dort. I think he can cause some trouble for guys like Cason Wallace, can cause some trouble for guys like J-Dub. But I also think that those guys can cause some trouble for the Lakers too. So I think that series would come down ultimately. I think that series would come down ultimately to if the Lakers can take better care of the basketball. If they can take care of the basketball and not turn the basketball over and not let Oklahoma City capitalize on that, I think you got a shot. Other than that, like Dallas, I think Dallas shuts the door on the Lakers. So of those teams, I think you could beat Houston in round one. I do. I think you got a shot at beating Houston in round
one. Okay. I don't think that's who they haven't run on, but okay, fair. I'm glad. Thank you. So here's the half full part of this. You got Luka, one of the best, if not the best scoring guards in the league, one of the best, if not the best playmaking guards in the league. You've got Austin Reeves, who has shown to be fantastic offensively. You've got LeBron James, who still at 40, 41 years old is, I don't think anyone would argue. I don't want to go too high. I'll be fair.
Are there 10 players in the game better than him, Tom?
No, I'll be fair. Is still a top 15 player in the NBA. Now, I don't think anyone's going to argue top 15. Would anyone argue that? Even though I think higher, say 15 so that no one argues. Rui, okay, you have an issue with Rui. DeAndre Ayton, I think, is the one that everyone's going to fight about. Because it's if he has the motor, if he comes in motivated, if he's happy. Who knows? JJ Redick might yell at him and he might go cry and stop playing. He's done that before. JJ Redick might get mad at him and just bench him because that's something he's done before. And we saw what happened when he got benched in Phoenix. His whole demeanor changed. So we don't know what version we're going to get. If we get the good one, okay. You need a bench to get you through the regular season. You need a smaller bench to win in the playoffs. Marcus Smart has a lot of injury problems, so we're hoping that he stays healthy for the entire season and, more importantly, in the playoffs. Gabe Vincent, I think, is expendable. We probably get rid of him. Are we buying in on Jake's 2-week run in Sacramento?
Yes,
we are. Okay. Jared Vanderbilt, to your point, I've been waiting for him to come back and play defense because that's what we wanted. That's why he's here in the first place, and we want him. Jackson Hayes is one that I really like. Because he now gets to move to where he should be, on the bench, going up against bench bigs.
Tone, why is that part right there, what you just said, Tone, I want you to stay right there. Why can't people understand that part right there, what you just said?
Because very few people understand the game of basketball. And there's a reason why guys come off the bench and they're like, wow, he came off the bench, scored 20. Then they put him in as a starter and he's like, how come he only went for 5? It's a different pace. It's a different level of competition. It's a different defender. It's a different game plan. And I guarantee you the day he had 20 off the bench, it was like a blowout. You were getting blown out and you got to take, 10 shots instead of your normal 2, right? And the game is different. Austin Rivers actually said it amazingly. He goes, when you come off the bench in the NBA and you play like 12 minutes and you get 2 shots and, they're corner threes because one of the primary ball handlers penetrated and dished it out to you. You basically, to get 6 points a game, you got to be 100% from 3. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So when you get the opportunity, it's one thing. It's different when you go against starters. And he's better coming off the bat. Dalton Connect, they've already tried to trade him. Is Maxi's healthy? We know that JJ Redick likes him. He might get a lot of minutes actually. We saw him be the first guy off the bench for no damn reason when he had been out for however long and hadn't played.
Is not a part of this rotation, Tone. No, let's take.
I don't know. JJ likes him, and then of course we got the prodigal son. The one, the second coming of LeBron James, the savior, Bronny, aka apparently Derek Fisher James, who in the 2024 Summer League went for 7-3-1 on 32% shooting, and this year People don't realize they're going to see this and not real. This is a huge jump to
Huge.
11, 2-2 on 44% shooting.
Yes, I love it, Tone. I
Is
see the
he
progression.
going to
I
be?
do.
Is he going to be a difference maker?
I don't know about a difference maker, but I think that we're making progress. Not this season coming up. I still think that we're another year away from him being a contributor, Tone. I've said this to you in the past. Had he stayed in school, this is his junior year in college. He's probably first team all Big Ten. He's probably the Big Ten player of the year. If not, he's definitely in a conversation for Big Ten player of the year. And we're having a conversation about him being a first round pick. That's going on. That 100% is going on.
Bronny James should have been, if I may, a 4-year college athlete who came out after his senior year, and he would be a top 10 pick.
I think so.
And would make a difference in the league. And I think he got put into a difficult position. And when I picked on him last year, when I picked on him the year before, it was because he was in over his head. And all I ever said to you and to everybody who would actually listen was he needs time. You need to give him time. He needs to develop. You need to give him time. And everyone thought it was, you just hate on him because you hate LeBron. No, I don't even hate LeBron. I know kids and I know talent and I know they need time to develop into who they are as players. And he wasn't a kid that was ready to come in with almost zero college experience and play in the NBA. You saw it. It was proven that he wasn't. I think this year, listen, he's not going to get a lot of minutes. I think he's going to, again, be bounced back and forth between the G League and the NBA where he should be. And you're going to see some good games from him. But I think you're right. I think next year is when we're going to see that. But,
we're getting close though, Tone. The thing that I'm encouraged by is, one, he's gotten stronger. Two, he's a lot more aggressive offensively. Like, a lot of you guys don't really give a lot of credit to, even in the summer league, right? Because in the summer league, for a guy to average 7, to go from 7 to 12, that's a big deal. 100%. Especially when you're shooting a higher percentage. That means I'm getting better shots. That means I'm getting downhill more. That means I'm getting to the rim, especially with a game like his. That means I'm getting to the rim more. Him being stronger, his athleticism, it's shown to me with his athleticism that, I can play at the next level if we keep at this pace. If we keep at this pace, I can play at the next level and I can be viable. It's just a matter of letting this pace continue instead of rolling him out there and going, he's a starter. Like, hang on, relax. We ain't there yet, but we're getting there. We're getting there. I promise you guys. This guy's gonna be a player. Yes, he is.
And just for the record,
you just made the list.
This is a first round exit. Okay. Staying in LA. And it breaks my heart to say that, but there it is. We're gonna stay in LA with the Buffalo Braves.
Tone, are they still Buffalo, Tone? Are they still Buffalo?
Of course they're still Buffalo. They're still Buffalo until they prove they're not Buffalo. You don't listen. How many times have the Braves tricked you? Be honest. How many times have the Braves tricked you and you said, oh my God, this is going to be their year? And then it's not. How many times?
I was violently pushed onto that Clipper train last year. And I tried to get off. I 100% tried to get off. I was doing everything that I could to get off, but ultimately the train crashed, and like I knew it would. They'd 100% crash. I've been out on the Clippers, but Tone, if I'm looking at this right, did
you like the thing I did for you yesterday, Unk City, instead of Lob City? Did you see it or no?
I did not see it yet. I got to go check that
you
out.
Didn't
Unk
see
City.
It?
I did not see it yet.
Now the title, I will admit, came from Fluent Jr. Let's give him his credit where credit is due. He's part of the creative team. And I said, hey, I'm putting this together for Uncle Chill. And he said, what's he talking about? And I said, he's, among other things, he's going to talk about the Braves. And he said, Unk City. And I went, what? He goes, what? They're all.
That's a great idea, yo.
They're all like 100 years old. I was like, come on, bro. And this is what I made for you. Did not see this?
Unk City.
Did you see Chilltown at the top there? Like, this was fire, bro. You missed it.
I did just see that. Yes, matter of fact, now that I'm looking at it, yeah.
Go check out that episode. So here's the thing. They're still Buffalo. Until they prove different, they're still Buffalo. The average age on this team is 47.
No, it's like 42, Tone. Relax.
Well, the knees are about 62. Like,
Okay,
where do we expect this team to go?
Okay, so all right, Tone, the voice of reason as I'm trying to be here. So Bradley Beal and Devin Booker basically did the same thing, and they were tripping over each other. So that thing, I'd never liked that fit right from the beginning. I just never liked it. That was a park thing. That was somebody that you pick up at the parking lot, just come run with me. Now, in the NBA, it's way different. Playing off of James Harden, we forget Bradley Beal is still a really good player. He was injured, he had a bad back, but he did play, I think he played 50 games last year. He averaged, I think, 17 a game on almost 50%. Well, it's going to look a lot different playing with James Harden because James Harden's going to get him a lot more open looks, a lot more stuff in the half court. He's really good on pin downs. He's really good on curl cuts. Still, he's really good off the dribble. And I think James Harden is going to help that. And I think James Harden is going to affect that. With that being said, I also got a lob threat now, and I got a transition big in John Collins, one of the better big in the game. And I really like John Collins. This team with Zubac as a defender, with Chris Dunn as a defender, because I like Chris Dunn more on the ball than I do off the ball. That's why I feel like he's gonna play more minutes backing up James Harden. I wouldn't be surprised if Chris Paul has averaged over these last 2 years, Tone. He's averaged about 27 minutes. He'll be 41 in December. I don't know how much longer Chris Paul is. I think this is his last season. I don't know how much he's going to play.
I think he enjoyed his time with the Clippers, and he's just going to go sail off into the sunset.
Fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. So I think that with him,
or I think he's still playing. Is he still ahead of LeBron in assists all time?
Yes, he is.
I think he's just still playing to try and keep ahead of him.
I mean, that's not ridiculous to think that.
Why is that
nuts to think that? Yes, that's not nuts to think that. I think Chris Dunn is gonna get a lot of run at the 1 and the 2. I think he's one of their better perimeter defenders. I think Derrick Jones Jr., another one of their better perimeter defenders. This team, despite the depth that they have, despite the additions that they have, despite having Brook Lopez, who is one of the better backup bigs in the game, this team is going to come down to two things, Tone. Can Leonard stay healthy? And can James Harden deliver when it matters the most? What they've shown us over these last 4 years is no, they can't. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen. So because of that, they're still Buffalo.
Still the Buffalo Braves. And you know, basically it's a collection of names, and they'll be out in the first round. All right. I want to finish the LA and move on to other cities with the headline, which is Lakers about to trade LeBron. And the reason I picked that title was because when I made that title 4 days ago, all I heard from the LA media, who knows who's going to be the starting 5 in July, was that the Mavs are pushing for him. The Cavs are pushing for him. Miami is pushing for him. Are the Lakers going to trade LeBron?
Depending on how this thing, I don't think so, Tone. No. Even depending on
is
how
he going to ask for a trade?
No, I don't think he's going to ask to be traded. I don't think so at all. I think that this season with the Lakers has to go to pieces, in my estimation, Tone, for them to go, yo, we out on James. Considering what the revenue is going to be, considering what the TV money is going to be. If this thing is awful by the All-Star break or by the trade deadline, not even the trade deadline, I'm going to go to by Christmas. If this thing is awful, they may look to go in a different direction. But I could also see James doing what Kobe did, where Kobe got into the beginning of the season in the 15-16 season and recognized, you know what? I ain't got it no more, and I'm out. This is it. I'm going to bounce. I can see James doing that. I can see James
first 10, 15 games and realizes, oh, I can't do this no more, and he announces this is going to be his final season?
I would not be surprised if that happens, Tone. I would not be surprised if we get into game 20. We're a month into the season, and you know what? What I used to have, I don't have it anymore. And not only do I not have it anymore, I just don't want to do this anymore. And this is it for me. Now, sure, the Lakers will be scrambling Now the question is would they decide not to hold on to him and move on from him right now? Which
Well, hold on. If you think that might happen, and you are the Lakers, are you not looking to the Mavs and the Cavs and the Heat and whoever else to say, hold on, what would you give us? What would a trade look like for LeBron James? Because at $50 million, you're going to get something good back.
are you though, Tone? Because again, what these
$52 million, they got to give you $52 million in salary.
Well, see, that's the thing, Tone. I'm thinking about what it's going to cost us to get him. Is that going to, especially teams like Cleveland? Like, what's it going to cost Cleveland? Are you, Tone? I'm the Cavs. You're the Lakers, and you call me up. I'm sorry, you're the Cavs. I'm the Lakers, and I call you up, and I tell you, how about you hand over Jared Allen? How about you give me DeAndre Hunter, and I'll take Dean Wade off your hands, and I'll take a first round pick for James. How you liking that?
How you liking that? You're the one that doesn't want him going back there.
I don't want him going back there, to be honest with you. And if I'm the Lakers, I don't want to trade James, but I'm throwing it out there. If I called up Cleveland and I said, "Yo, I got James. If James is available, how about you hand over DeAndre Hunter, Jared Allen, and I'll take Dean Wade off your hands. Give me one of those first round picks you got over the next 3 years too."
Is that the real iShow speed? Because if that's the real iShow speed, I want you to lift your hand right now. I'm going to send you the link.
I don't know who iShow Speed is.
You don't know who iShow Speed is?
I don't.
Fluent Junior talks about him all the time.
Is that the dude that's in the Nike commercials, the Dick's commercials? That dude?
It's the dude that Cheetah is scared to race. It's the one that Noah Lyles said he didn't even try hard, but he tried hard in that race.
Okay, I got you.
I don't know if it's if that's the real one. Yo, pull up, brother.
Yes.
Fluent Junior will. I don't even know wherever he is. He'll find his way to. You'll see him pop up behind me, in a faster than you run. iShow Speed. Anyways, I just it's yes. By the yes to answer
that trade.
Yes,
that trade. Are you doing it?
Yes. If I feel like I am that one piece away. And you don't have to rely on LeBron to be the man. I 100% make that move. I don't know if the numbers match up. Right, like him going to him going to the Mavs, I thought was weird. I'm like, where's the money coming from?
Now, on top of that, I gave you Luka. They're not dealing with the Lakers no more, Tone. Let's kill that right now.
Well, but
they're not.
My point is this, though. If I'm the Lakers and I have even 1% that he is going to move, that he is going to go somewhere, and he's waiving his because he has a no trade clause, correct? Yeah. Okay.
Yes, he does.
So he's giving away his no trade clause. Then I'm finding a way to move and say, okay, Luka's, because the reports are, which I don't believe, he's not happy because they're making accommodations for Luka. Because
I don't believe that one bit, Tone. I don't. I wish I could say I believe that, and I would believe that if this was years ago.
Well,
I think we in a space.
Perk made a good point. They used to sign all the Clutch clients. Now they're signing all the whoever's Luka's agent. Now they're bringing him.
But even
Aiden has the same management team, right?
As Luka. Okay.
Yeah.
Even if that's true, Tone, here's the difference. The difference is that I'm in an advanced age now. With me being in an advanced age, I'm past being the man like that. I'm still the man,
sure?
Man. I'm past that, man. But here's the thing. I'm not past being the man on the court. Like, I don't know how not to do that. But as far as me turning over the reins to Luka and not letting and being worried about Luka being awesome, no, I don't have a problem doing that. I just don't know how to do it. If that makes any sense. Like, I would do it if, like, I'm still James. I can still get 20, 25 a game. I'm still 20 to 25 a game. I can still do that. I don't think that that's an issue. And I also don't think it's an issue of me worrying about, who's the man on this crew. I ain't worried about that. No, I'm not worried about that at all. No, I'm not worried about handing over the reins or, this is his team, this is my team. Nah, we've seen that movie already. And we've seen how that thing affects winning. And I don't think that that's going to be a problem in Los Angeles. I think the other things are going to be a problem. Way different.
I think there's never been an athlete in history in any sport more concerned with their legacy and how they're viewed than LeBron James. And I think if it's starting to hit him that he is being viewed for the first time ever as not the best player on his team.
Damn, Tone, after 22 years, I mean, I had to know that this day was coming.
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. What I'm saying is, I don't know that. Listen, you wake up one day and your hair is gray and you knew it was coming. You knew it was coming. You knew it was coming. You're still like, damn. Right? Your 50th birthday, you knew your 50th birthday was coming for 50 years. And then you wake up that morning and you're like, damn.
I'm 50. Yeah.
I'm 50. 60 number. So I think James being like, yeah, at one point I'm not going to be the best player on my team. I know I'm not going to be the best player. And then, oh shit, I'm not.
That day is here. That day is here.
I mean, I don't coming and then to have it happen.
But I don't think that worries him more than him not winning. And I think that's where the problem is. And I think him not being the man, if I want to make sure that I'm explaining this right, Tone. So him not being the man, that's something that he doesn't know how to do. What I mean when I say that is I've always had the ball in my hands. I've always been the guy, whether it's down the stretch, whether it's in different stretches of the game. Now I'm running with a dude who he is the man and he's the future of this organization. If I want to win, I have to be able to turn the reins over to him. It's not that he doesn't want to do it. I don't think he knows how to do it because I've been doing this for so long.
Have you ever watched a movie Any Given Sunday?
Yes.
Do you think that the quarterback wanted to give it over to Willie Beeman, even though he knew Willie Beeman was the future?
He did know that Willie Beeman was the future. Yes, he did.
Did he want to give it to him, though?
No, he didn't.
Did Brett Favre want to give the reins to Aaron Rodgers?
I think that's a terrible example.
Did Aaron Rodgers want to give the reins to Jordan Love?
The difference, though, is Aaron Rodgers couldn't play. Not Aaron Rodgers. I'm sorry. Brett Favre couldn't play at that juncture. Brett Favre, I mean, we saw what Brett Favre looked like after he left.
I'm just saying, whether you did it or not, they did. It's one thing to know that I'm old and washed, and I'm not saying he's old and washed because we just said he's a top 15 player.
That's the other problem, Tone. That's the other problem right there.
And that's the other problem. That's the problem is that he doesn't know that he's old and washed because he isn't. So to now give up that number one thing and be like, okay, now they're going to cater, not just who's the best player. Now the organization is going to cater to him because he's the one that they're trying to re-sign for the long term, not me. I don't care whether it's subconscious or conscious, that will affect you. And all I'm saying is if there's even a 1% chance you think he's going to leave, because right now you have him for nothing. You have him for this year and that's it.
I think
which might be okay. If I can get something for him, I got to do that.
Well, I think it's a little bit different in this aspect than it was when he was in Cleveland or when he was in Miami. Because when he walked out the door in Cleveland in 2010, like he left them with nothing.
No.
They had nothing.
No, okay.
In Cleveland in 2010?
What do you mean he left them with nothing?
They had nothing, Tone. There's a reason why they lost 26 straight games that year. They were at the bottom of the league.
Well,
he left them with nothing.
They purposely tanked, but they got that sign and trade done, and they got like 4 or 5 first-round picks.
They got two second. I think they got
no.
We could go back and look at that trade for LeBron James. We 100% can go back and look at that. And when he, I think the guy's name is Timothy. No, that's when he went to Cleveland. That's when he went back to Cleveland. Timothy. No, that's not true. One of those first round picks was Timothy.
Well, listen, what they did with it is a whole nother story. But LeBron James trade to the Miami Heat consisted of what is this? Not this ridiculous. Miami Heat received LeBron James, Bronny in shocking trade. What? This is a lie. What is this? The number one thing from Sports Illustrated: Miami Heat received LeBron James, Bronny James in shocking trade. Get out of here. These people lie.
So the trade was Tone. So he's traded by Cleveland to Miami for a 2011 2, a 2012 2, a 2013 1.
I can't see a damn thing.
And a 2016 1. So
There
two
you go. So
twos and 2 1s.
for a guy that just was a free agent, that's a pretty good haul.
And a swap and a pick swap in 2012.
That's a haul.
But Miami didn't do it, right? Miami didn't do the last one. So 2 2s and 2 1s for James. That's what they
That's pretty
ultimately
good
got.
for a free agent walking out.
Right. And
whereas the Lakers are going to get nothing but $50 million in salary cap relief.
And I think James is well. I think it, but here's the difference, though, Tone. Again, I think the difference is him walking out the door in Miami. Oh, I'm sorry, in Cleveland. As a player, I think it's a little bit different as opposed to I got $53 million. And don't forget, Tone, when they trade him, it's not like they're trading him at the beginning of the season. They're trading him, I don't know, at the trade, let's say at the trade deadline. So half the season is prorated, right? So they're really trading 26 million, right? 26.5 million.
Sure.
All right, so 26.5 million. Are we getting a haul for James, considering how he's playing?
You don't need
and on top of that,
you don't need a haul for James. What you need is pieces to go around Luka. Defenders, shooters, rebounders. That's what you need.
well, let me ask you this though, Tone. If they're trading him at that point, that tells me one of
I'm saying you're trading him before.
Right. So now, if you trade him
Like
before
now.
the season starts,
Now,
right?
I'm
If you
saying
trade
now.
him in the summertime, you probably can get something for him. I don't think teams want to part with their young guys, like what was going on in Houston with Kevin Durant, like being able to keep Tari, Jabari, Amin, and Sengun. If you're trading for LeBron James, the last thing that you want to do is give up any of your young talent. So that means that if he's going back to Cleveland, guys like Darius Garland, guys like that, Mobley, don't ask for them because they're not available when it comes to James. Maybe a couple of years ago we could have had this conversation, but definitely not today. Definitely not today. Those guys are available. But Tone, ultimately, I'm going to end it by saying this: I don't think that he's getting traded. I don't. I'd be surprised if he ended up packing up and going somewhere else. I think he quit first. I think that Rich Paul. I think that whole thing is smoke and mirrors, and I think that that's a ploy to make the Lakers stay on their job. But I also think that the Lakers, I think they're tired of it. I think that they're ready to move on from the LeBron James.
I think it's
era.
a ploy. I think it's a ploy to keep him in the news. Since the Lakers had been eliminated from the playoffs until today, it always seems like there's something that team, and I'm not even blaming LeBron for all of it, that team releases just to keep him relevant. Right? First, it's that stupid commercial for the Amazon Prime days. Then it's an episode of his ridiculous show that he does where it was supposed to be about the X's and O's, and instead it's about rewriting history and creating bullshit narratives. And some of us want to play 22 years, but some of us go play baseball. Yeah, some of us leave our team and go to a 73-win team to win a title, you loser. It's just it's all nonsense after nonsense. Then it's the trade request, and it's like, team didn't get better. You're not going anywhere. I'm with you. I don't think he's going anywhere either. But that's why I say, like, if I'm in charge of the Lakers, I got to do what's best for the Lakers. Always. And we made a trade for Luka. And let's be honest, there's a similar game style. LeBron's significantly more athletic, but there's a similar game style with Luka and LeBron, right? In terms of at least offensively, he's going to be the one who brings up the ball and facilitates and scores. Well, that's what LeBron does. He's the one who brings up the ball, facilitates, and scores. To have two of them is redundant. So if I can get something, you're not trading Luka, so do what you can. Do what you can. That's all. That's all I'm saying.
Fair enough.
All right. Next on the agenda, speaking of farewell tours, this is the most ridiculous thing that has happened this offseason. With all the nonsense, this is the most ridiculous thing that's happened this offseason.
I'm really interested to hear this from Tone because I know how Tone feels about stuff like this.
Why? You sat up here with Trista and tried to convince me that Portland had a really good young core and they're onto something and they're gonna blah blah blue blue blah, and they're gonna be a top 5 defense and they're gonna win 50 games. So what's this for?
I think that it's just to bring Dame back home. I also think
he has to be traded. He said, I want to go to Miami.
I think that he got ran out of it.
You know what Miami said? You know what Miami said? We good. We good? I don't think they
Or
are.
maybe it was Portland who said, "Not for what we asking for. Nah, we not good." Mm-mm.
No.
Miami was going to do it.
No. I mean this signing right now. He was a free agent. He can go sign in Miami.
Oh, of course they're not interested
And
at
Miami
this
said,
point.
good.
Nah, of course we're not interested. No. Now, Tone, from a business standpoint, does this work for the Trailblazers? Paying him $42 million over the next 3 years.
No, because your team, you told me, I don't think they're good, but you told me this team is right there. They're on the precipice of becoming a good
They're gonna
team.
make the playoffs.
Well,
I think
what
they're
does
gonna
a
make the
good
playoffs
team
next
need?
year.
They need financial flexibility to make tweaks and changes to get from good to great. Well, you just took that away.
Yeah.
You just
Now,
took that. I'm not a Laker fan. Are you crazy? No, go ahead. Sorry.
well, wait a minute. Well, wait a minute though, Tone.
I'm a
We
Laker
didn't have
fan
to.
before any other player. Okay, what's
So
best for
Obi,
the team? F the players. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
so all we doing is adding Dame. It's not like we had to give anything up to get him, right? We're just adding him to the
Right.
roster.
But
That's all
what
we
does
doing.
Dame provide this team?
I
He's
think
not.
that
Is
he
he even going to
provides
play
them
this year? Is he even going to play
No,
this
he's
year?
not playing. No, he's not playing this season. No.
So we're
Not playing
paying
this
him.
season.
So we're paying him 14. What is? I
Yeah,
don't know.
$14 million, $13
$14
million,
million
about
to sit
$13
at
million.
home.
Well, Chauncey Billups said he's going to be the highest paid assistant coach in the league. He said that. So yes, he's going to be the highest assistant. He's going to be the highest paid assistant coach in the league. Yes. Now, Tone, I'm on record saying it. I don't think he did. Him leaving Portland was you guys' doing. Y'all ran him out of there. It was you who ran him out of there. I think that you say something enough times, you start to believe it. Next thing you know, well, yeah, I do want to get traded. When in reality, I don't think he ever wanted to leave, but he heard it 200 times. Now here we are. We're in a space where I do have to leave. I do have to go chase championships. I do have to get out of here. When in reality, I don't think he ever wanted to leave in the first place. Never. And the fact that Milwaukee recognized right from the beginning, not right from the beginning, I'm sorry. Milwaukee recognized not too long ago, this thing with him and Giannis is not going to work. He's going to be 36 years old.
Well, then they should have listened
Tried
to
make
me.
it
I
work.
told them that before it even happened.
This thing is not going to work. We tried to make it work. It's not going to work. So, of the dough that we owe him, we'll just spread it out over the course of the next 5 years, and we'll let him go, and we'll try it another different way. Which, by the way, Milwaukee got better because if they don't, and they keep Dame on the roster, and he sits out, they don't get Miles Turner.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah, Milwaukee did that. Absolutely right. Yeah, 100%.
100% they do that.
Milwaukee won the offseason
him,
because of what they did. Absolutely.
I just think that with him playing in Portland, I think Scoot gets better. I think Denny gets better. I think that their backcourt gets better.
How? He's not going to play.
Just because he's not playing, Tone, it doesn't mean that they're not going to get better. Just the tutelage, just him being around the facility, I think that makes Scoot better. And I'm still in the minority.
By osmosis?
No, by coaching them. First and foremost, a guy like Damian Lillard. Can he coach?
Yeah, can he coach?
Well, I can tell you what he can do. He can show Scoot what angles to get downhill. No, how to be a better offensive player. Because I'm going to be out there, which I'm going back to my original theory, Tone. Had he not left Portland, I think Scoot would have been so much better playing behind Damian Lillard. Much better playing behind him.
So he won't be playing. So you think Dame is going to miraculously become this mentor, and with his tutelage, Scoot's going to learn how to shoot?
Maybe, Tone. Yes, absolutely. That can definitely help him. Yes, 100% it can help him. Yes, absolutely. I mean, Tone, you're a Kobe guy. Kobe ends up sitting out the rest of the season. Are you telling me that those guys, when Kobe was sitting out, weren't getting better because of Bryant being around?
But he was there. He was playing prior to.
He wasn't playing when he wasn't playing when he screwed his shoulder up. He wasn't playing when he cracked his knee. Right? He wasn't playing. So Jordan Clarkson was there. Right? Jordan Clarkson was there. And Jordan Clarkson was getting better because Bryant was there showing him things. Bryant was there. That influence. Bryant was there. That presence made him get better. Now, a guy.
Isn't that why they brought in Holiday?
Well, first of all, Holiday didn't want to be there. That's number one. Number two, he's only going to be there for this season. I think after this season, he's gone.
So you're saying Holiday doesn't even want to be there, and he's out after this season.
I think he's gone after the season. He's going to pick up the option. Not this season coming up, but next season he's actually got 2 more years left on his deal after this year. So he's gonna pick up that option after next season. And with him picking up that option, I think that Tona, I'm gonna take that back because he can also play the 2. So he could play off of the ball too. So we could play him and Dame in the backcourt. We could play him and Scoot in the backcourt. So this 100% can work. Yes, it 100%.
Here's how I think it can work. If it's 5 years ago Dame, 5 years ago Holiday, and you somehow put them together and make them into one guard, he's phenomenal.
Of course, because you get the that looks fantastic. Of course,
I just think it's a weird dynamic to bring in Holiday, who was the one that was let go from Milwaukee to make room for Dame. It didn't work. It didn't work. And now they're both together on Dame's old team where Dame is not going to be playing. I don't think, just FYI, I don't think Dame plays one more game ever. But that's.
You think he's overtoned?
I think he's done.
Wow.
And this was just a long-term goodbye deal.
Wow, I'm not going to go that far, Tone. I do think that I'm pretty confident that he's going to play. I don't think he wants to go out like that. Well, what happened in Milwaukee, I don't think he wants that to be. I don't think he wants that to be his last hurrah. I think that he wants to show that I still got the goods.
All right.
I can still play, no doubt.
That's what I think. But listen, it's that time we're going to speed round the news. And while we speed round the news, I sent the link out so people can join. Just be patient because we're going to get through the news and then bring you guys up. So here we go. The first thing is, do you remember that song? I want to say it was Busta Rhymes and maybe Chris Brown was in it. And it started off, how you get mad, you can't, something about something in the club, you can't even get in. You remember that? What was that line? How did it go?
How you gonna hate from outside the club? You can't even get in. Yes.
How the hell Busta gonna hate from outside the club? He can't even get in.
How was Busta Rhymes outside? Why he can't get in? What's the problem?
Because he's washed like Damian Lillard. They're not letting him back on the court. That's why. I don't know who I just brought up, but you were not supposed to be brought up. My apologies.
We'll get to you in a minute. Yeah, we'll get to
you in a minute. The link is in there. That is my favorite clip, by the way. You talked about the Miami Heat and why they, said no to Dame. They got $61 million in expiring contracts for 2026 free agents, a solid young core in Ware, Jovic, Larson, excuse me, and John and the Spanish John Wick. Are they about to build something up again in Miami?
Yes, they are, Tone. I don't think that they're that far away from really competing, to be honest with you. And I think next summer they're going to have. I think this is setting them up for next summer. They're going to go big game hunting. I do believe that they're going to make some real pushes. Luka's supposed to sign this extension. I want to say August 2nd, Tone. And if he doesn't sign that extension, I think Riles and Spo, I think they're after him. I 100% believe they're after him. But if I look at what's going on with this roster right now, you got your big man of the future in Khalil Ware. You got your front court in Khalil Ware and Bam. I think that's one of the best front courts in the league. I think you got a swing man in Wiggins who's 29 years old, still fantastic in terms of his prime. I think he's still good in that aspect. He's still sought after. And you got your two guard in Tyler Hero. You just need a lead guard. And I love this Euro that they have. I love him. But I do think that they go big game hunting next year. I do. I think they go big game hunting, and I think that they're on the
top three. Who would be the top three?
I think Luka. I think they go after him. Depending on what they do in Minnesota, because Anthony Edwards is still in the contract. Depending on what they do in Minnesota, I wouldn't be surprised if they inquired about Anthony Edwards in terms of a trade and went after him to see if they could woo him down to South Beach. I don't know if that's the best environment for Anthony Edwards, because Anthony Edwards is a little bit wild when it comes to other stuff. But in terms of a basketball environment, I think that would be great for him.
I think Ant would be the new Uncle Luke. You went down.
Maybe And I don't think that would be. I do not think that would be ridiculous. And the other guy, I think that, and I also think the other guy is Giannis. I think that they go after him hard. No doubt about it.
Giannis and Bam, though?
I don't like it neither. I think that Bam might get moved for Giannis.
Okay.
I do.
I just want to put that out there because that's super sad.
I'm still like, wait a minute. Theo Huxtable can't be dead, yo. What are we doing?
An accidental drowning. Is there any other kind? Like, is there a purposeful drowning? Oh, I guess if you're murdered, I guess. So
100% there's purposeful drowning.
Good
Yes.
point.
My daughter has made it clear to me that she's going to smother me with a pillow. She said that. Yeah. I told her that she's not putting me in a home. I told her that. I said, you're not putting me in a home, so you better figure it out. She said, I'm smothering you with a pillow, Dad. I'm making sure that we clear. And I was like, all right, so they know who to talk to. So.
Okay. If I challenged you right now, could you, just off the top of your head, without like any prep, could you name 200 players better than Draymond Green?
I don't know if I can name 200 players better than Draymond Green. I think that's asking a lot, right? Because I don't think that there's 200 players in NBA history better than Draymond Green. I don't think that there's 100 players in NBA history better than Draymond Green. So no, I can't do that.
All right,
I don't think so.
I'm putting the link. I'm putting the link back in the chat because everybody has a lot of talk when the camera's not on them. So let's see what you got. Last one. I believe it's the last one. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll take a second and talk about it. Your favorite topic. LeBron James needs more accolades because he hasn't passed Michael Jordan as the GOAT of the NBA. So he proposes.
Here we go.
As that in the small print. If LeBron James proposes,
LeBron James
Offensive Player of the Year award because he questions the MVP selection criteria. Well, because he hasn't won one in 20 years.
Well, it depends on, first and foremost, the MVP criteria. The one thing that's always been, right? The one thing that's always been a fact. It's always been winning. Winning has always mattered when you're talking about the league MVP. That's always been one thing that's always been a part of the criteria. With the league MVP, also, there are some things that do change, right? There are some things that do change because the best player does win it sometimes, and the best player doesn't win it. But winning and who affects that winning, I think that's the most consistent thing. When I think about the league MVP, who affects winning the most? When you talk about winning, who is affecting winning? Last season, I'm on record saying that I thought SGA was the league MVP because I don't think that there was a guy in the league who affected winning more than what SGA did, considering what he had on that roster. Not only considering what he had on that roster, what had to transpire for them to win. I mean, they won of the 77 games he played, they won 63 of them. But to 77 games he played, they won 63 to 68 games that he was on the roster. With that being said, Chet's out of the lineup. Caruso is out of the lineup. Hartenstein's out of the lineup. He's probably the only constant. But when I think about the league MVP and when I think about the offensive player of the year, I'm thinking to myself, how are we going to gauge who the offensive player is? Tony, you're a football guy. When you talk about the offensive player of the year, where is the Philadelphia Eagles offense? Where was the Indianapolis Colts offense when Peyton Manning was winning offensive player of the year? Where was New Orleans offense when Drew Brees was throwing for 5,000 yards 5 years and they were winning? Where was that offense? If we're talking about you being the offensive player of the year, it can't just be because you're averaging 30 a game. No, because we don't do that with the defensive player of the year, Tone. When we're talking about the defensive player of the year, we're talking about a guy who's not leading the league in blocks, but we're also talking about a guy who's affecting that team's defense overall. They're one of the best defenses in the league.
The defensive player of the year, though, is you can tie it back to stats more than any other award. If you look at every defensive player of the year award, their combined stocks, so steals and blocks, is always top 5 in the league. They have a defensive rating that's high. Whether you like defensive rating or not, doesn't matter. They have a high defensive rating. The defensive win share is always, again, top 5. and their team defense is always a top 3 or top 5 team defense, and you can tie that back to every single one, even their blocks plus minus, which again, none of these are great stats to say this makes you a better defender, because it's not who's the defensive player of the year is never necessarily who's the best defender. Sometimes it happens to be, but it's not just like the MVP is not who's the best player. But you can tie it back and say, well, at least they have no set criteria, but if you look at it, you see a pattern. MVP doesn't have that pattern. These other awards don't have that pattern where you can tie it back, whereas I think Depoy does. So if they're going to do an offensive player of the year, so similar to the defensive player of the year, I think you would tie it into scoring. You would tie it into assists or points generated. You would tie it into, those types of, PER, so efficiency. I think you tie it into true shooting. Like you would tie all of those things together. Again, not saying that that's right, but that would then make it the equivalent to the defensive player of the year. And whose offense? Your team has to be probably a top 5 offense in the league.
Well, that's what I was about to say, Tone. I mean, everything that you just said, if I'm a bucket getter, if I'm one of the best distributors in the game, I'm affecting my team's offense. I'm not just a bucket getter and we are 13th in the league in offense. We 17th in the league in offense. If I'm in the top 5 in the league in blocks, if I'm in the top 5 in the league in steals, if I'm in the top 5 in the league in defensive win shares, if I'm in the top 5 in the league in box plus minus, I'm affecting my team's defense. And we're one of the best defenses in the league. And this is what I mean when I talk about being the offensive player. So like this dude in the chat talked about CMB, what his name is. He talked about Rudy has 4. Rudy's won the defensive player of the year 4 times. Yes, and with him winning the defensive player of the year 4 times, the Minnesota Timberwolves have had the best defense or one of the best defenses in the league. And that's largely due to him. That's largely due to what he was producing when he was on the floor. You're just thinking about him being a defender, and you're thinking about he's not the best defensive player in the game. Even though the best defensive player in the game has won the defensive player of the year from time to time. That has happened. Just like the best offensive player would have won offensive player of the year, like Jordan in 88. Is Jordan a better offensive player in 88, Tone, than Magic?
Ooh, in 88? Ooh.
1988. That's the year he was the defensive player of the year, led the league in scoring. Is he a better player?
I'm probably picking Magic.
Right. So, okay. So
that offense, because that offense doesn't go without Magic. Yeah.
In 2000, is Allen Iverson a better offensive player than Shaq?
Is who? Sorry, say it again.
Is Allen Iverson a better offensive player than Shaq?
In 2000?
Yes. 2001. Let's say 2001, the year he won the league MVP and he led the league in scoring. Is he a better offensive player than Shaq?
I'm probably still taking Shaq, yeah.
I'm taking Shaq too. 100% I'm taking Shaq. The way that offense operates, just because you are a bucket getter, just because you lead the league in blocks. I saw Hassan Whiteside. I think he was second in the league in blocks. A lot of that stuff was empty. I'm not gonna buy that just because you're a shot block leader. How are you affecting defenses? And I think that gets tied into when I think about when I think about you being the league MVP, when I think about you being the offensive player of the year, I think that a lot of the things that you do on the offensive end of the floor, I think that adds into how awesome you are as an offensive player. Tone, I know how you feel about Kobe Bryant. Is Kobe Bryant in 2006 a better offensive player than Steve Nash?
Of course.
Is it close?
For me, no, because I'm a fan, but I guess you can make the case it's close because of the assists. But I don't think so.
Remember too, Tone, this is the same dude. This is the same dude who was responsible for almost 50% of Phoenix's offense. That's a big deal when you're talking about affecting the game the way he does. Now, I understand that you got to do it averaging 35 a game. I 100% can get with that.
Steve Nash was probably more important to his team offensively at that point. I know where
things ain't the same thing.
Yeah, I don't like
the same thing. Yeah, those two things are not the same thing.
Those questions, I don't want to answer.
I just want to what I want to see if we're going to do something like that. And here's the other question that I have for you, Tone, because if we're going to do something like that, what happens when we get, because we've seen a guy win the league MVP and the defensive player of the year. So what happens when we get a guy win the league MVP, he wins the offensive player of the year and the defensive player of the year? How are we talking about that guy? Is he outright the best player in the game?
Ooh, that's a good one. That's
Is
a
it
good.
no question? Is he outright the best player in the game? Because again, I know how you guys feel about accolades, and I'm an accolade guy. 100% I'm an accolade guy.
Well,
The
here's
question
the
I'm asking
problem.
is,
If he wins, here's the problem. If he wins, I'm trying to send something so I can show it, but I apologize. That's why I'm a little distracted. If he wins Offensive Player of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year, but we all already agree that the winner of the Offensive Player of the Year and the winner of the Defensive Player of the Year isn't necessarily the best offensive or defensive player, then no, he isn't automatically. But how do you not say that though after the fact? It seems kind of crazy. And okay, we're gonna get to 2 cents because we were supposed to have like 20 minutes for these guys. But I just want to quickly say Marcus All definitely wouldn't the best depoy, but he won it. I want to throw this out here because everyone says how your boy got robbed. Okay. I just want you to show this is what I mean when I say, okay, this is how the Defensive Player of the Year award. This is a great example when I say this is how they pick it. It doesn't matter that LeBron James, and we all agree, was the better defender. When you look at Gasol, 7.8 rebounds, one steal, 1.7 blocks. James, 8 rebounds, 1.7 steals, 0.9 blocks. So pretty much even on the traditional stat line, right? Rebounds and stocks. Defensive plus minus. Gasol first, LeBron fifth. Defensive win shares. Gasol second, LeBron 10th. Defensive rating, individual. Gasol sixth, LeBron 49th. Team defensive rating. Gasol's team second, the Grizzlies second, the Heat ninth. That's what decided the Defensive Player of the Year, period. And that's what happens 99.99% of the time with depoy. So if you take any player that you think got robbed and you look here, I guarantee you in 99% of the cases, that's what's going to happen. And you're right. For anyone who's going to say, well, Gasol benefited from having a better defensive team, 100%. Because it's not who's the best defender, it's who does these numbers the best, because that's what they've decided, whether officially or unofficially, what matters for depoy.
When's the last time we've had the best defensive player in the game win Defensive Player of the Year? When's the last time that's happened?
I can't remember.
I think it's this year. I think it was this year. I think Evan Mobley's the best defense. I think Evan Mobley's the best.
But you're also high on Evan Mobley. But I go back and I think through most of them, like Rudy Gobert, Marcus Smart. Like if you go through there, I don't think anyone's thinking those guys are the best defender. That's all. All right, it's time for you to hear my 2 cents. Well, his 2 cents, not my 2 cents.
What up?
Yeah, what's up? Hey, we can go fast. We got 17 minutes left. I'm gonna save some time for everybody else. But I'll start real quick. I think you did the WNBA, and a quick explanation for that is that they have to do things in solidarity because you can get things done in that way. Whether you deserve it or not.
So we can't have some people over here, some people over. All of us got to be on one
Right.
accord. What you tell
In
me?
solidarity. Yes.
But then you can't say we all decided to wear these shirts, but none of Caitlin's team was here. I know she meant it as a joke, but you've just completely undermined your whole "we're together."
Yeah, but you know how it goes. I mean, if you watch, I watch the stock market a lot, and I've seen companies make billions in profit. But guess what? They don't do. That doesn't always equal sprinkling it down. Hey, man, everybody got 20% raises and stuff like that. That's not how it go. If you think that's how it's gonna go, hey, that's your problem, and you can deal with it. Can I move to the next one?
Yes, what you got?
Okay, real quick. The next one I was going to talk about the MVP. The MVP for the NBA. We all know how that go. You can Google it or whatever. Yeah, it's only 5. It's an anomaly. We know things happen. Bob Pettit, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Russell Westbrook, and most recently Joker. I mean, winning does matter, but it's not the end all be all. And it's kind of hard to, I mean, I don't care. Whatever we're doing, we got to walk into work backwards. Hey, guess what? We all do it. But if you're going to create a standard, and I can remember Joker winning it with a 47-35 record, and Donovan Mitchell winning with a, was it Donovan? Yeah, with like a 47 and
You mean
35.
Russell
I mean,
Westbrook?
a Russell Westbrook. I'm sorry.
You
Yeah,
mean Westbrook? I'm with you.
with a bull crap record and stuff like that, man. And
Well,
we're confused a lot of time. Oh, go ahead, Fluke.
just because you brought up Donovan Mitchell's the one guy who had the winning team where he didn't even get a
Yeah,
sniff.
right.
He's the
Yeah,
exception. Winning team not even getting. Remember Utah? He got nothing.
yeah. Yeah, and my formula and what I've seen, what they do with that MVP, I think is a bunch of bull crap. But we know those are individual accolades, and sometimes people are trying to compare best player and best team. Sometimes you can put up some good numbers on a crappy team. They don't let that fly unless you do something extraordinary. When Russell Westbrook did his, man, that was extraordinary. When Joker just recently did his, man, that was extraordinary. So if I'm marketing my brand as the NBA, of course, I want you to remember that. I don't want you to see the same numbers that somebody else did. Man, that was extraordinary. And that's why I understand that MVP thing like that. I know you got to
Here's
show
the
the
thing.
people.
Here's the thing, though. 2 cents. When you say that, like what Russ did was extraordinary. I'm not going to argue that point.
Yes,
Just like what Joker did in 22, that was extraordinary.
When he did
The
it,
right.
problem,
it
like,
was extraordinary.
yeah, it
Yeah,
was definitely
It wasn't
extraordinary.
extraordinary 3 years later.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like he did it, and then he goes on to do what was extraordinary. He goes on to do it 3 more times, and that was the standard that was set. Right? That's the standard that was set. So if I'm gonna take it there, where now I'm the league MVP based solely on the fact that I averaged a triple double, and this hasn't been done in 50 years. Well, what happens when I do it 3 more times?
yeah. Real quick, Chill, on that, I got an explanation for it, it's just my 2 cents. But at the end of the day, I understand the bar keeps moving. Sometimes I hear people talk on panels, just like my homeboy, he's a Jet fan. And he called me every year since Sanchez was on, man, we got a better team and look what we got. They did improve, but you got to understand everybody else is getting better, and that's in lies the problem. Can I end on this, Floor and Chill real quick?
Go ahead.
Yep.
Okay. When did second team All Pro become you ain't crap? Because last time I remember, LeBron got second team All Pro,
That's
and
what
it's
we
a
live
lot of
in.
it. Luke,
That's
yeah,
what we live
Luca,
now. 2 cents. That's what we live
yeah,
now.
yeah. I mean, it's a day and age. We just y'all are the same age range and we peers type of deal, but I understand it, so I'm trying to get a better understanding on what's going on and how if this is how we're going to do things now, okay, that's what it is, and
Well,
they're
we also
creating
got to do it.
standard.
We got to do it across the board, though. 2 cent. Like if
Yeah,
second team All Pro ain't a big deal for him, don't come to me when when it's second team All Pro and be like he's second team All Pro. Don't do that.
right.
No, that's not going to work. That is not going to work.
Top
Absolutely
10
not. I'm
in
not
the
trying to do
league,
that.
though. Yeah, all right,
Nope.
top 10 in the league. That's all you can say right now. He holds that. It's a fact. It's not hypothetical. I know Luca's good, but did he even make a? I don't even think he did. He make a team? Third team,
No, he didn't.
maybe.
No, he
Oh
didn't.
yeah,
He wasn't
but
eligible. He
yeah,
didn't play enough games this year. He didn't.
yeah.
He did
Let me
not play
back
enough games.
out, man. Hey, let me give
All right.
some of the boys some time. I
Good
appreciate
to
y'all,
talk to
man.
you,
Every
brother.
time.
Absolutely. Good to
Appreciate
talk
you,
to you,
brother.
brother. No doubt.
All right.
It's it. Excuse me.
I need to know something.
Yep.
Um, who do you know at Bleacher Report to have Kobe at 11? How did you kind of finagle that?
If I could pull that off, man, y'all, I'm telling you, I got some swampland in Jersey to sell you, Tone. If you think
Well,
that I got that
I know
much
you have
power,
people at the Athletic. I don't know who you
mm,
have at the Bleacher Report.
I don't. If I was that big, I'm not as big a deal as you guys think I am. I promise you that I'm not. And if you think that I am, I promise you're going to be writing me a check for some swampland in Jersey because I'm not that big a deal. Maybe, just maybe, it's possible. I think it's possible that maybe these guys they see him. Here's my biggest problem, Tony, and I'm not going to ramble off about this. I think that there's a part of me that did have something to do with this. I don't think that I had a lot to do with this because I don't think I'm that big of a deal. But I do think that I had something to do with this on some level. What I'm not going to do is I'm not going to have anything to do with he wasn't that good, like that kind of nonsense that I'm hearing from him about him. He wasn't that good. He wasn't this good at this. He wasn't this good at that. You ain't putting me in that. No, I ain't trying to hear that. I'm not trying to hear completely just downplaying how good this guy was. No, I'm not doing that. Not trying to hear that.
Just before we go, I want to show Fluent Jr. something because I think he was clearly taking a shower before bed. Check out who jumped on the show. Told you he knows who it was. It might have been a fake, but I'm taking it.
He's making the Olympics.
He's making the Olympics?
Yeah.
He's that fast?
Are we putting it out there? Are we putting it out there today? He's going to be on the Olympic team.
Today he's making the Olympics.
Yeah.
All right. Good night, brother. Good night, my love. Love
Guess
you.
who got honors on every single exam?
Honors on every exam. You
whoa,
did.
Whoa. Wait a minute. Like, you can't just brush over that. Hold on. Like, we can't just, like, all right, Dad, good night. I got all A's. I got a 4.0. See you later.
She had to do it's her dance exams. And as you know, she won Best All-Around Dancer at her studio this year. And she just got her scores back from her exams, and she got honors. That's the highest grade, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
On all of her tests. And how many tests
so
did
you basically aced it.
She is. That's because she's fluent in dance.
Michelle.
Oh, 100% you are. That's a big deal, Mama.
That was really
awesome.
hard to get. Well, there you go.
All I know is when you're dancing at Juilliard. All I know is that when you're dancing at Juilliard, please not forget your uncle, please. That's all.
We're gonna invite him to the dance competitions, right? Especially
that's all I'm saying. Like, you know,
just go to Florida.
When we go to Florida, he's coming.
100%.
Okay.
I'm absolutely doing that. Yes.
She says you got the invite. She says you got the invite. Say good night to
Thank you very much. Thank you. See you later, dear. See you later.
Oh man. Whew. That was good. That's a nice way to end the day. That's a nice way to end the day. I told you he would automatically know when I said I show speed. He'd be like, oh.
He saw that. He was like, yo.
We made it. Even anyways. All right.
Yes, sir.
That's the end of the show.
Yes,
Bye.
sir. All right. See y'all later.
Peace. I want to do that one day. Just like not even say anything. Just hit end stream and just
bye. All right. See y'all later. We gone.
Do you ever do that on your TikTok lives? Just be like, yeah. So then I was thinking Kobe's at probably should be moved down to 14, and then end the stream.
All right. See y'all later. Bye. Click.
No, don't even do it. Be like, I think I'm gonna move Kobe down to 14. And
goodbye. Don't even say goodbye. Just end it. Wow.
Oh wait. Did you get your verse ready for?
Oh, that's right.
Did you have?
I have not written down anything.
I gave you an extra week. I took a vacation last week just to give you extra time.
I have not written down anything. I don't have any rhymes.
Next week. But until then,
we are at the end of the show. Yes, we are at the end of the show, ladies and gentlemen. It was good to see you guys tonight. My man Tony and myself, you know where to find us at. We are here on the Sports Fluent Network and on the Chilltown Hoop Network every Tuesday night. You can find my man Tony weeknights on the Sports Fluent Network right here on YouTube. So we will see you guys soon. Until then, put on the suit, drink water, don't drink and drive. Hey man, call your mother. When's the last time you talked to your mother? I just talked to my mother a couple of days ago. Call your mother. We'll see you guys soon. But until then, take it light. Take it. Absolutely, man. It's good to see you guys tonight. Put on a suit, drink water, don't drink and drive. Hey, man, call your mother.
It means nothing. It means nothing.
Nah, they lying to you. It's about the money.
Now you're more fluent.